Yo, what's good, guys? I'm just hanging roadside right here. Roadside. Oh, I ain't going down that. Fuck me. It's a massive hole there, boy. And I've got a topic today that's pretty controversial. Make sure my mic is all set, which it is. Goodly. Yeah, the topic is, why is Honda so boring? Look at this nice little lake right here. I mean river, lake. Don't listen to anything I'm saying on this video, I just called this shit a fucking lake. Yeah, so it only felt right for me today to be on the CRF 250L. It only felt right. You know, I'm gonna be on my MT-07 while I'm slagging off Honda. Now, for the record, as a disclaimer, I'm no hater of Honda, but I own two Hondas, okay? So that kind of justifies how I'm not a hater, in my opinion. And but yeah, straight up, man, I don't really understand. Well, Honda's just like, I don't know, man, it feels like they've given up in the industry a little bit. That could be slightly harsh, but to be honest, if I'm harsh in this video, I don't really care, man. You know, I'm just being honest from my personal perspective, from a normal guy's perspective, from me. But they just seem to be uninspired. And for example, if you look at Yamaha, they had some struggles a few years back. And man, they've come on in leaps and bounds, man. Leaps and bounds. I'm just checking out these random places I've never been to. They've come along in leaps and bounds, Honda. I mean Yamaha, sorry. And you look at the MT series and stuff like that of bikes, and then they've released other bikes too. I mean, look at they're the first manufacturer to bring out the new R1 and shit with all those electronics and stuff. Right, I ain't going in there. Few years back or whatever, Yamaha released the R1, right? You know, the R1 and the new R1 and the R1M and stuff, and they're like very innovative. The electronics were just nuts, man. Slide control, the fucking 5-axis shit, all that stuff. And then obviously you got BMW doing their shit with the S1000 RR, and they're fucking sick as well. And then you got Kawasaki's ZX-10R, which is very interesting as well, the ZX-10R. What's this woman on a hype, man? I'm going down here. Look at her, man, she's waving her hand. We've got all these manufacturers bringing out these sick race style bikes, yeah, all these sport bikes, and I don't even care about sport bikes, this is just an example. And Honda still haven't released anything, and how like late are they, man? It's been ages since all these bikes have been out, and Honda's still sitting back, not releasing nothing, man. And they look bored, man. I don't know what it is. They don't want to innovate. And if you don't want to innovate, you must be bored, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? But straight up, yeah, you've also got, I'm trying to get to the river here, man, the 300cc category of bikes. I'm going from the kind of veteran bikes of the sport bikes with like all the horsepower they've got and stuff, to just gonna stroll onto someone's farm right here. To the beginner category, really, I recommend the 300cc bikes as the best beginner bikes. And you look at the beginner bike category, right? Honda have got their 300 CBR 300R, whatever they call it. And you know, you look at, if you compare that as a direct comparison to the Yamaha R3, it's not as good. You know, as the KTM 390, it's not as good as that either. It's not even as good as the Ninja 300, you know. It's barely lighter than some of them. It's right in the mix. It's not really like got a specific attribute that stands out to be better than the others. It just doesn't. It's uninspiring. This is what I'm saying. It's uninspiring. If you look at Honda, the last, I don't know how long, if you look at them for the last however long I'm saying right now, it feels like a few years, they look very uninspired, apart from, you could possibly say, apart from the new Africa Twin, maybe, you know. But even then, that's actually underpowered versus say the KTM 1190 or you know the KTM adventure bikes or the 1200 GS, right? You're not going to compare it to the 800, right? Because it's like 1000cc over, right? It's the bigger CCs, right? So to me it just looks like they've kind of given up. And another bike obviously here is my Honda CRF 250L. This 250L right here it's a good bike. I mean, I've done 15,748 Ks on it, and it hasn't had a beat wrong, and it's reliable, and Honda's built that reputation over a long time. That's why people buy it. And I'm not saying don't buy Honda, but I just think almost every category of bike that you might think about buying, I just feel like Honda has been beat by something. For example, like I'm saying, the 300cc's, the CBR's down on power, it's down on torque, the weight's not really any better. And then you got the Africa Twin isn't really as good as the KTM's or the BMW. And then you got the race bikes that they haven't even released their like proper 1000cc sport bike, you know, with all the electronics and shit to compete with the R1 and these bikes. And then you look at this CRF 250L, they don't want to compete with the I don't know, man. They decided to release this bike. They didn't want to make it better and a competitive price with the WR250R. They just didn't want to do that. It's like the WR250R has got better suspension, it's more powerful, it's the best in that bracket of these dual sport bikes, right? It's better than the Kawasaki's KLX, and you know, give props to Kawasaki because they decided to bring out the KLX. So the Honda just seen Kawasaki and the WR, seen them and thought, well, we'll release one as well, and they basically like undercut the price of Kawasaki, and they gave you worse suspension. I think personally, this and the Kawasaki, this could be a bit better than the Kawasaki, and it's a bit cheaper. If you're looking at affordability, you're looking at fuel economy, Honda might be good in these ways. That's not personally what I'm looking for, and this is all my personal opinion, right? But they didn't try to definitely make it better, man, and that's why I just think they're pretty boring right now. I want them to do better, but if they don't want to do better themselves, I don't really care. You know, I ain't gonna care for them. That's what I'm saying. It's just like, but you look at this bike, it's down on power, man. You know, it's down on power. That the gearing is a joke from standard. They give you a new subpar suspension. Like, what are they really like? You know, they set a price point and then they release. They want to give you the bike for that price point. They know what they can do for that price point, and then that's all they're interested in. They just want to sell bikes. They want to sell bikes by the fucking bucket load. You know what I mean? They want to just sell bikes by fucking stupid amounts, right? And if they do that, they're happy, I think. And that's all it is for them. They don't really want to like innovate, man. Look at like Yamaha's MT, like I'm saying. Look at the MT10 and stuff like that. I mean, that's controversial, if anything, man. Just the design of it is extremely controversial. And look at the I don't know, man. Why is Honda so vanilla? Right? Maybe that's a good way to put it, man. Yeah, they're fucking vanilla, man. Man's is looking for snakes. Don't ask me how to wheelie this shit, man. Neighborhood disturbance. You look at the Honda 500F series, right? They released these bikes a while back. I think people were pretty happy about them because they were like, oh, this 500cc bracket, you can get an A2 license, you know, so you're like somewhat of a beginner, and you can get a 500cc bike, and you're like, oh, that's sick, man, 500cc, all this shit. You think like, oh, that's gonna be cool, man, you know what I mean? That's gonna be cool. Like I could like try out one of these like bikes, and they're probably quite good, you know, 500cc and shit when you're young, and you know, when you haven't got a lot of experience, you think, oh, that's sick, man, for the price, they're so cheap and stuff. But like I don't rate any of those Honda 500s, and the reason for that is they're heavy, man, and they got like 48 horsepower. which is just, that's why I don't rate them at all, because you look at it, right, in the grand scale of things, you got the 300cc bikes, like the most powerful one, the KTM. But if you don't want a KTM, you want to say you want a Japanese, you want a Yamaha, it's got like 42 horsepower, man. You're like 6 horsepower different, and you know how much lighter the 300 is. And you know, and then what did they do? Like, what did Honda do that I've noticed this year is they updated the 500s, and as far as I know, I could be wrong about this, I feel pretty confident that I'm not though, is they decided to just update the looks, man. That's all they done, is they updated the looks. Hey! Calling it like it's a dog. Yeah, so leave a comment below and let me know what you think, man. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me? Do you feel that Honda is uninspired and Honda's vanilla, it's gone boring? Do you feel like maybe because, I don't know, maybe they make cars and shit that they're doing better in other avenues or something, or they just want to meet the quota of selling a certain amount of trucks of bikes, you know what I mean, truckloads of bikes, truckloads of bikes, do you know what I mean? Maybe they just want to just meet a certain like quota for each model, and then they don't really care about innovating shit. If someone else does well, they come along and try to beat it by making the price competitive or a bit better and giving the same amount of bike for less money, maybe. I don't know, man. That's just how it kind of feels right now. If you agree with me, let me know, man. Leave a comment below. Just as evidence, I'm sure you guys can tell why I'm riding. There's my CRF250L. And it's a good bike, man. For the price, it's a good bike. It's a good bike, man. You know what I mean? But straight up, the fuck is that? That ain't from here, is it? But straight up, man, they're uninspiring, man. Honda, what you doing, man? Just impress people, man. Start innovating. Do something that people like. Oh shit, man, Honda did that. Oh, you seen that new Honda? When's the last time you say, did you see that new Honda? Maybe if you bar an African twin, especially, it was a lot hype about it before it actually came out, and you find the specs out, they're pretty underwhelming. So as I'm jammed here in these rice fields with these oxes everywhere, I'm gonna call that a video, man. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Leave a comment. That's Motoman out.